I have just managed to get Dori to C6 on my main account. I'm going to attempt to build like an Electro DPS Dori. So this is going to be interesting because she is not the greatest character in the game, and especially not as a DPS, but I'm going to give it my best shot because it'd be kind of funny. And because you don't have a ton of stuff, I'm going to give myself a week to get this done. So today, I think I'm just going to farm whatever I can, and we'll just get her level as far as we can. So we're going to farm the boss until we have enough of them, and obviously the local specialties, which are these. And then I will probably have to farm more relay lines because we are lacking on Mora. So let's go see how this goes and if we can hit actually some not tiny damage with DPS Dori. I mean, straight off the bat, I'm not expecting any crazy damage, but I mean, it would be kind of cool to see something. There will be a lot of trial and error involved in this because obviously Dori is not meant to be a DPS. Well, with that, there is all of today's resin spent. We have 33 of them. I'm not sure how many we need, but it is definitely more than 33. So now we will farm these and these guys. Let me do these first. And then we're just going to see where we can go for levels today, and then I will deal with farming everything else in the next couple of days. I'm going to hope that someone has already built a C6 DPS Dori so I can have some form of a reference to go off of, because otherwise I don't really know what I'm going to be doing. So once I have her leveled up and her talents at a decent level and I'm looking at artifacts and builds and stuff, then I will do some research and see if this has been done before, which I'd assume it has, but you never know. Okay, so that is all the farming I can do for today. So where will that get us? We can go up to 60. I don't have level up books. That's a problem. Could we go 70? Yes, we can. And I'm assuming not 80. No, because I need more of these and these. I'm going to leave farming these for a later day because I think I should have enough of these books to at least get them to like 8. Or like 7 or 8, which would be good for now, at least the normal attack, and possibly the skill. Weapons, I think we'll probably end up using her on either the Earth Shaker, or like that one, or Mailed Flower, or something along the lines of that. In which case, they're all basically leveled up and ready to go, except for this one. And then artifacts, I think they should be okay, but that'll be the last thing I'll farm. So I will leave this till tomorrow. We'll come back, we'll farm more of these, because I don't have resin at the moment. Okay, it is now day 4 of this, I think. I spent the last 3 days farming ley lines, so if we head over to Dori now, we should be able to get her a little bit leveled up. We can ascend her up to level 70, and I'm probably going to use Prototype Archaic. I think it is going to be the best weapon. I will need to farm some more of the bone things, though. There's level 70, and we can't quite go level 80 yet because we need more of these. We also need more Mora, and we need more of the boss drops, and that is just for level and ascension. Then we need to deal with artifacts and talents. So I'm going to go farm all the enemies for the weapon, all the enemies for Dori, all of the local specialties, and also run ley lines. And then we should have enough to get her up to level 90 with a level 90 weapon. Then I can deal with all the other stuff, which could be interesting. So I will most likely see you tomorrow with everything we need. Okay, so I have done all of the farming I need to do, at least for today. So we are able to get Dori up to level 80. I'd assume we can level her up to 80 as well. We can. And then for 90, we have everything except for Mora. We are just missing some of these and her boss drops. So I will farm her boss drops today, and I'll need to get the rest of these in a couple days. So that will be probably the last thing we do. I really should have pre-farmed a little bit before this, but oh well, that is fine. I also have enough to get her weapon, or I would have had enough to get her weapon up a bit, but I need more Mora. So let's use the resin we have today, plus some condensed I have left over, to go farm more ley lines, and then her boss as well. And that should give us enough stuff to get her weapon leveled up, and hopefully the boss drops we need, so that when we get the local specialties, we can finish everything, get her level 90. And then for artifacts, I have been thinking about it, and I'm pretty sure our best bet will either be Marachose Hunter because normal charge attack damage, and then the other option is Thundering Fury because electro damage, and then we get increase from Overload, Electro Charge, Superconduct, all of that stuff. I think I'll probably go with Thundering Fury just because it's a little bit more versatile. I can do plunging attacks, I can do charge attacks, normal attacks, skill, whatever, and it will all buff my damage. But the problem with Thundering Fury is I am severely lacking on pieces. I mean, that piece is pretty good, but for everything else, we don't really have a whole lot. So I'll probably need to deal with them at some point. But the priority is getting her leveled up and her weapon leveled up first. This was a relatively last minute idea for a video, which is why I have prepared absolutely nothing for it. Because normally I would have had more of her boss drops and more Mora and talent levels and, you know, local specialties and stuff like that. But I kind of decided to do this video very, very last minute. So I haven't done much in the way of preparation, which is why 90% of this video so far has just been me farming Mora and level up ley lines. And I also don't want to use my fragile resin because I only have 9 of them and I'd like to keep some more. So the artifacts could very well not be good, but I'm hoping we get at least a usable set. But from memory, I think Hu Tao's on a pretty solid Marachose. So if worse comes to worse, I can just steal Hu Tao's set and chuck that on her and that'll do. Hopefully though, we get at least a somewhat decent Thundering Fury set. Okay, well there is all of the Mora ley lines done. We can ascend the weapon to level 80 and level it up to level 80. And now we are missing a couple of these to go to level 90. I have already farmed them today, so I'll probably just get that one to 90 in a second. Do that tomorrow because I can farm these. I should also be able to farm these tomorrow as well because I'm going to need some of the lower levels for talents. That being said, I can get your talents up one more time, and then I'll have to wait another 2 days for these. But what we can do today is go farm this boss, and we see 3 on the first run. If we see 4 on the next 2 runs, then we only need to do 3 runs of this. I doubt we are going to see that though, but it would be nice. So are we going to need to do 2 more runs? Yes, we are. We do not see 4, which means I got to do another 2 runs. Does not matter how many we get on these runs, I'm going to need to do 2 anyway. Okay, there we go. That is the boss fort. That should be all of the boss drops I need. Where is Dori? There. Are we done? Yes, we are. Awesome. So we just need another 20 more of these. I'll have to farm them later. Let me actually quickly go here and I'll see if I can strongbox some of the artifacts up, because that would mean we can spend our resin solely on books and Mora, which would make it a lot easier. Double crit, attack percent, 4-line start. It is good. I am looking for a crit damage circlet because I already have a crit rate one. Ooh, perfect. Okay, we're getting low on runs, but that is good. Crit damage, crit rate, 4-line start, ER. We like that. And this is the last strongbox run, and we get a feather that I guess could be okay, but it's not incredible. So let me quickly have a look at those pieces now. I think we might be able to do a little bit. We have this, which could be very good. There's a crit damage roll to start us off. Let's just see those crits. Perfect, more crit damage. And we see attack percent. That is fine, I will take it. Crit rate. Attack percent. Okay, it's a little bit on the lower side, but it will do. The feather is actually pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that one. Plus, it's already leveled up, so that just works for me. It's good. This, we don't really have anything. I mean, we do, but like they're not very good pieces, so I'm not going to really bother with them. We have this, which I will probably have to go off piece, and we have the circlet, which I'm going to say is going to be crit rate because we have a lot of crit damage on the other pieces. And we cannot level that one up any further because we are out of Mora. So let's have a look here at electro damage pieces. I think we should have a decent one lying around somewhere. We do, but it is not leveled up. And we can't level it up as well because we're out of Mora. So it's just the stuff for a weapon and her level and then Mora now. But I'll deal with that all tomorrow. And then hopefully we can get enough Mora and stuff and I can farm artifacts some more and hopefully get a good piece for her. So I will see you in probably 2 days, so then I can actually farm her local specialties. And that'll also give me time to farm more of the Mora and stuff we need. Okay, so I have done basically all of the farming I think I need to do. I might need to farm a couple more Mora ley lines, but at least for the time being, I can ascend Dori up to level 90. And I'm gonna need more books. Okay, great. So I was looking at some videos of C6 stories and looking at some teams we could run. And we are going to run Dori on Mailed Flower because we would want to run her in a more Dendro-focused team. I have been looking at a couple builds and teams for her, and we have a couple options, one being Dori, Nahida, Shalonen, Farina. That is an option we could run. Full Hyperbloom Dori with Dori, Nahida, Fischl, and then probably either a Xingqiu or a Farina. I would probably say Xingqiu because its Hydro application is a bit better. So we could have this sort of team as a Hyperbloom, or we run the same style of team, just swapping Fischl out for Xiangling. And in this case, if I was running this team, I would be swapping Xingqiu out for Farina. So I will try all of the teams. Personally, I like this one the most, but I will try all of them out. I will try this team, I will try this team, and I will also try this team, and we will see which one does the best. Artifacts would still probably want to stay on Thundering Fury, just I would probably want to run a EM and then Electro crit, rather than what I was going for, which is attack, which could possibly make this piece actually the best piece for her. If we can see some decent crit rolls, this would probably be a better feather. We see crit rate and we see more crit rate. It loses out quite a bit on crit damage. However, we do make that up with more EM and crit rate. So I think I'm actually going to swap to that because we do want a little bit more EM for Dendro reactions. The flower's pretty good. This we'll need to find a EM piece, so that'll be interesting. Doesn't seem like we can get them with EM. We do have a Roron's piece here, which just has crit damage and EM. So we could run that piece, but I feel like double crit's going to be a little bit better. So we do want a little bit more damage out of her, but we could possibly swap to this if our EM is a little bit lower. Let's see, crit damage. Yeah, okay, so we are quite low on the crit damage. Might be worth changing this to a crit damage circlet. And we don't roll any crit damage on the circlet either, so it probably is going to be worth running crit damage on the circlet. Because if we do swap over to the crit damage piece that we currently have on the Thundering Fury set, we have this piece, which could be really nice. And we actually do see a bunch of crit rate, which is really nice. 13.6 is really good. So with a crit damage circle, we have 43 to 143. So I'd say if we can get some more crit rate on this piece here, which we will need to get, then this is probably worth it, running this build. Obviously, it'd be nice to have a little bit more of the crits, but it's not too bad. And then we currently have 152 EM. That will get bumped up to basically 340, I think. Nahida is the character with the most EM. She has 1,000, which means she can get this full buff. So we can add an extra 250 EM to that, which brings us to just shy of 600 EM. So that'll be decent enough for the kind of build we're going for. So now all I really need to do is get some level up books and also do the talents, which I'm going to say we want to focus on the normal attack and then go to skill. And then I'm probably not going to touch her burst just because I'm not really dealing with that at the moment. I'm mainly focusing on the skill and the normal attack. So I will go run level up books because then I can get her to level 90 because her normal attack is already level 7, which is not great, but it is passable. So I will focus on getting her leveled up and then we can deal with the talents after that. Okay, well that's all the resin spent. We can get her up 3 more levels, but we are out of Mora for that. And we need like double what we have at the moment to get her up to 90. So that's a problem. I mean, I do have probably another day. This is like technically the last day of this week, but I started this early, so I still have probably the end of today to get more resin, so I could do that. So I might be able to get enough Mora and level up books, but we will still have the problem of artifacts, which I mean, I could use this thing and craft one up if I wanted. We either go for an EM one here, which is going to cost 2, or we could craft an electro damage, which is going to cost 4, and then we could run an off-piece EM Sands. I'm somewhat leaning towards electro damage, even though it's going to cost more. I'm more likely to use an onset electro damage for Thundering Fury rather than an onset EM Sands. So I think I'm going to create an electro damage, and then we're just going to go with double crit and hope we get EM basically. We're out of Mora. good. And then over here, we can run this piece because it's not on anyone and it has good stats. My goodness. Okay. Well, crit rate is sorted. Our crit rate problems are fixed. We do not need to worry about that. So now we have full Thundering Fury running pretty, you know, okay stats. Got some EM on there. This one has no, not that one. This one has a massive amount of crit rate. And then we are running crit damage on the circlet with another 13% crit rate. So now our final stats are 50 to 165. It could be better, but I'm pretty happy with it. 339 EM, which will get bumped up by Nahida, running the Mailed Flower, which I think is going to be the best bet. So now it's just leveling her up, which we cannot do because it's expensive, and leveling up her talents, which you also cannot do because, again, it is quite expensive. So I will just have to wait till a little bit later where my resin has replenished a little bit, and then I can get all the Mora and probably ley lines, so I might need to push this over into tomorrow a little bit to do that. And then we can get her fully maxed out, level 90, I'd say like 8 something on the talents, hopefully. So I just need more Mora. So I will see you once I have more Mora and probably level up books as well. Okay, so I have basically done all of the farming I need to do now. So we can get Dori all the way up to level 90. There we go. And we should also have the stuff to get her normal attack up to level 8. I wouldn't say 9. We are going to be short on more for level 9. Only by a little bit though, but I'm going to leave it at level 8. I feel like that's fine for now. What we will be able to do, however, is get the skill up a little bit. So let me craft up all of the talent materials and we're just going to see how far we can get that. I'd say Mora is just going to be our limiting factor. And we actually look like we might be able to get it up to, what's that, 7, 6, 7, whatever it is. So there we go. The skill can go up to level 10, or I'm pretty sure that is now 7. We actually even push it to level 8 to have it on par with the normal attack if we wanted, or we could get the burst up a little bit. I think I'm actually going to try to get this skill up to level 8 along with the normal attack. So there we go. That can go to level 11, which is now on par with the normal attack, and we have a whopping 678 more left. So that is Dori now completely built. She's level 90 with the level 90 Mailed Flower on a 4-piece Thundering Fury C6 8 11 7, running 339 EM, 20,000 HP, 1200 attack, and a 50.9 to 165 with 134 ER. It is not a bad build. So I'm going to go try out teams now. As I said earlier, we have 3 teams I'm going to try out. This is going to be the first team with Nahida, Shalone, and Farina, and then obviously Dori. Okay, so we are going to go Nahida Burst into Nahida Skill, then Farina Burst, Farina Skill to Shalonen, and then Dori. 8k and quite a bit from Hyper Blooms, I think. I cannot see much damage, but there is lots going on, and the boss is evaporating. So I think we are doing good. I think there was some like 20Ks or something from the Hyper Blooms. I couldn't really see anything, but there was some damage there and we did a pretty good job of getting rid of him. I will have a look and I will put on screen now what the highest damage we saw for both the Electro attacks and the Hyper Blooms were. So this is the biggest damage. I'm going to have a fun time trying to dissect all those numbers and figure out what it is because there was a lot going on. But that felt pretty strong. So, we move on to team number 2, which is the full Hyper Bloom team. We are going to do Nahida Burst to Nahida Skill, hit the enemy, do that, do that, and finally that. And he evaporates, basically. There is so many numbers going on, it's actually insane. I cannot tell how much damage is happening. I'm seeing 20Ks from, I'm assuming, the Hyper Blooms, but I genuinely do not know what is going on. Again, here are the biggest numbers. I didn't even try to look at those numbers just then because there's so much happening. So now we move on to the final team. I still feel like the first one was a little bit better. We will see what this final team with Shangling and Farina does. Do that, do that. Stop it, please. Do a little burst. And then, boom. There's some 23Ks happening there. Yeah, I don't necessarily know if this is the strongest of the bunch, but it's definitely the most fun. That's not bad, actually. I think this team is a little bit stronger, but that is just mainly because we have Farina and Shalonen together. But this is definitely my favorite team, followed up by the other one with Fischl in it. And then Xingqiu, or I guess we could probably use Farina in that team as well. Let me try it, because why not? Farina is definitely helping add more damage to the team, and she does do a solid amount of Hydro application, so this could be a pretty decent Hyper Bloom team if we wanted. We do Fischl, and then Dori. And we hit 12Ks, 5Ks, I'm seeing like 20Ks from something. The boss is no longer 18K there from something. I'm assuming the normal attack. And if we do like a charge attack, I think I saw a 13K from the charge attack. All of the teams are actually surprisingly fun. They're not like massive damage teams, but they are actually really fun, which I wasn't expecting because I assumed Dori was going to be a bit of a not super fun character to play as a DPS. But they are all really fun teams and I quite enjoy using them all. So if anyone has any tips or anything, give me to improve the damage of this team because I would like to use it more. It is, as I said, quite fun. Let me know. Here is the damage for the run with Xiangling. And here is the damage for that last run we just did. Both of which should hopefully be pretty good because the boss kind of evaporated. But with that all being said, I am going to leave it here. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this video, go check out the video where I built the other quote unquote worst character in the game as a okay DPS. And with that being said, I will see you all next time. Good. Bye.